We often talk about love as a feeling, but the truth is love is a choice. And desire, the kind that fuels real intimacy, is also a choice. When a woman truly desires to make love to her man, it's not just a physical act, it's a reflection of something deeper. Her willingness to show up fully, vulnerably, and wholeheartedly. She doesn't just show desire with words or gestures, she shows it by being fully present. In those moments, she's not multitasking in her mind, not holding back parts of herself. She's right there, in the here and now, letting him know without a single doubt, I'm with you, all of me. Presence is powerful. And in that presence, she makes space for something deeper than physicality. She makes space for connection. Desire is also trust. It's saying, I feel safe enough with you to let down my wall. It's the courage to be seen, flaws and all, and to invite someone into the most vulnerable parts of herself. When a woman desires a man fully, she's not afraid to speak her truth, to ask for what she needs, to reveal her emotions. It's not about pretending or performing. It's about being real. And here's the thing. She doesn't initiate out of obligation. She doesn't do it because she feels like she has to. She does it because she wants to. Her desire is authentic. It's not transactional, it's transformational. It's not a duty, it's a gift. And that changes everything. Because when love is offered freely, it's received more deeply. Desire is often misunderstood. Many people think it's about what we do, about the physical gestures, the touch, the signals we send. But the truth is, desire runs deeper than action. It lives in intention. It lives in the quality of our presence. When a woman desires her man fully, it's not simply about what she does, it's about how she shows up. Intentional presence is powerful because it says, without words, I am here, I see you, I want you. It's the difference between being in the same room and truly sharing a moment. It's not distracted, not passive, not half-hearted. It's a deliberate choice to bring her full attention, her full self, into that space with him. And that presence, that quiet yet bold declaration of being fully with someone is one of the most profound ways desire is communicated. A woman might be busy. Her mind might be filled with 1,000 responsibilities, 1,000 demands. But when she chooses to clear that mental clutter, to put down the phone, to turn away from distractions, and give her man the gift of her undivided attention, she is showing desire in its purest form. Because what she's really saying is, in this moment, you matter more than anything else. That level of presence makes intimacy possible. Intentional presence doesn't need grand gestures or dramatic expressions. It's often quiet. It's a glance held a little longer. It's leaning in when he speaks, even if the conversation is ordinary. It's listening, not just hearing his words, but truly tuning into his heart. It's the warmth in her eyes that says, I'm not just here physically, I'm here emotionally, I'm here spiritually. That depth of presence can speak louder than words ever could. Many couples drift apart not because love disappears, but because presence fades. They stop paying attention. They start going through the motions. They live side by side, but forget to meet heart to heart. But a woman who desires her man refuses to let presence slip away. She fights for it. She carves out time, space, and energy to be with him, not just around him. And every time she makes that choice, she reignites the flame of connection between them. Presence also means showing up with authenticity. It's not about being perfect or saying the right things or performing a role. It's about being real. It's about being willing to be seen as she is, without masks, without pretense. When a woman desires her man fully, she lets him see her, not just the polished parts, but the vulnerable parts too. And in that honesty, she invites him to be real with her in return. Desire thrives in that space of mutual authenticity. In moments of intentional presence, physical touch takes on deeper meaning. A simple touch of the hand isn't just contact, it becomes a statement of longing, of appreciation, of belonging. A kiss isn't just a habit, it's a sacred moment of closeness. Every gesture, every movement is infused with meaning because it's coming from a place of being with, not doing for. And that transforms physical action into emotional connection. The beauty of desire expressed through presence is that it can happen anywhere, at any time. It's not confined to the bedroom. It's in the way she greets him after a long day. It's in the way she reaches for him when they're walking side by side. It's in the way she lingers in an embrace a few seconds longer. Presence turns the ordinary into the extraordinary because it's filled with intention. At its core, desire isn't something we perform. It's something we embody. It's not about following a script. It's about letting the other person feel in every moment that they are chosen, wanted, valued, and the greatest way to communicate that is through presence. Because presence says, I am here with you, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. In a world full of distractions, intentional presence is one of the rarest, most beautiful gifts we can give. It's the foundation of real desire, the gateway to deeper intimacy, and the secret to keeping love alive. Because in the end, desire isn't just about what we do, it's about how deeply we're willing to be. When a woman truly desires her man, she doesn't just communicate with words or gestures, she communicates with vulnerability and trust. This kind of communication goes far beyond the surface. It's not about saying the right things or following a script. It's about letting him see her heart, her fears, her dreams, her insecurities, and her deepest emotions. Vulnerability is a willingness to be seen, to let the walls down, to invite someone into the most tender parts of ourselves. And trust is the bridge that makes that possible. It takes incredible strength to be vulnerable. It takes courage to open up, knowing there's always a risk of being misunderstood, judged, or even hurt. But when a woman chooses vulnerability, she's saying, I trust you enough to hold my heart. That choice is a powerful form of desire because it's an invitation into closeness. It's an unspoken message that says, I want you to know me, not just the version of me that the world sees, but the real me. And that authenticity is what deepens intimacy. Vulnerability isn't about oversharing or confessing everything at once. It's about being honest in small, meaningful ways. It's telling him when something scares her. It's admitting when she feels insecure. It's sharing what excites her, what moves her, what keeps her awake at night. It's revealing the parts of herself she doesn't show to just anyone. And in doing so, she builds a space where both of them can be real, where neither has to hide behind masks or roles. Trust grows in these moments. Every time she shares something vulnerable and he holds it with care, trust deepens. Every time he listens without judgment, trust expands. Every time he proves he's a safe place for her honesty, trust takes root. And as trust grows, so does desire, because desire flourishes where safety exists. A woman cannot fully desire someone she doesn't trust. But when she knows she's safe, her desire becomes bold, unguarded, and free. Communicating with vulnerability also means asking for what she needs without fear of rejection. It's saying, this is what makes me feel loved. It's being clear about her boundaries, her desires, and her hopes. It's believing that her needs matter and trusting that he wants to meet them. This kind of communication isn't about control or manipulation. It's about partnership. It's about building a relationship where both people feel seen, heard, and valued. In a world that often rewards toughness and emotional distance, choosing vulnerability is radical. It's countercultural. But it's also the key to real connection. When a woman desires her man, she doesn't armor up, she opens up. T doesn't try to prove she doesn't need him. She shows him that she wants him, not because she's incomplete, but because love is better when shared. That openness doesn't make her weak, it makes her strong. Because it takes far more strength to be soft in a hard world than to build walls. Trust is the soil where love grows. Without it, intimacy withers. But with it, desire can blossom into something lasting and meaningful. Every time she chooses to trust, even when it feels scary, she's building a foundation for deeper love. Every time she forgives, every time she gives grace, every time she believes the best in him, she's reinforcing that trust. And in that trust, desire doesn't fade, it grows stronger over time. A woman who communicates with vulnerability and trust invites her man into a sacred space. She invites him not just to love her body, but to cherish her soul. She invites him to meet her in the places where she's most real. And when he accepts that invitation, something beautiful happens. The relationship moves from surface-level connection to profound intimacy. Desire becomes more than attraction. It becomes a bond, a partnership, a shared journey. In the end, vulnerability and trust are not weaknesses, they are gifts. They are the very things that turn love from something fleeting into something enduring. And when a woman desires her man enough to communicate this way, she's not just saying, I love you now. She's saying, I'm choosing to build something with you that will last. That is the kind of desire that transforms both people, and that is the kind of love that changes lives. When a woman truly desires her man, the way she initiates intimacy comes from a place of authentic wanting, not from a sense of duty, not from obligation, and certainly not from pressure. There's a profound difference between giving love because it's expected and giving love because it's genuinely felt. And that difference can be felt deeply by both people. A woman who initiates from genuine desire is moved by something internal, something real. She's not keeping score. She's not fulfilling a quota. She's not trying to appease or meet some external standard. Instead, her initiation is a reflection of her own longing, her own excitement, her own emotional and physical attraction. When she reaches for her man, it is because she wants to, not because she feels like she has to. And that intention transforms the entire experience. There's a certain energy that comes with genuine desire. It's alive, it's electric, it can't be faked, and it can't be forced. Her touch feels different, her kiss feels different, her presence feels different. When her desire comes from within, it invites him into a space of shared passion, not performance. He doesn't feel like he's being tolerated or appeased. He feels chosen, wanted, desired in a way that affirms his worth and draws him closer. Obligation, on the other hand, carries a weight. It's heavy, it's mechanical. It creates a distance, even in moments that should bring closeness. A woman who feels obligated may go through the motions, but something essential is missing. Her joy, her freedom, her enthusiasm. And over time, that absence can chip away at intimacy, leaving both people feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. But a woman who initiates from genuine wanting doesn't just give her body, she gives her whole self. She brings her heart, her mind, her spirit into that moment. She's fully engaged, fully present. And that presence is a gift. It tells her man, I'm not here because I have to be. I'm here because I want to be. I'm here because I choose you. That choice is powerful. It builds trust, deepens love. It reinforces the bond between them in ways that obligation never could. Genuine desire also removes resentment. When a woman feels pressured or obligated, resentment can slowly build beneath the surface. But when she's free to initiate from her own desire, she's empowered. She's in control of her own body, her own timing, her own expression, and that freedom creates space for joy, playfulness, and exploration. It makes intimacy something she looks forward to, not something she dreads or avoids. Her initiation might be bold or subtle. It might be a look, a touch, a whisper, an unexpected gesture. It might be a spontaneous embrace or a quiet invitation at the end of a long day, but no matter how it shows up, it carries authenticity. And authenticity makes everything richer. It turns ordinary moments into sacred ones. It turns intimacy into a celebration of love rather than a transaction or an expectation. A woman who initiates from genuine wanting also models healthy love. She shows that desire is not something passive, not something that only responds. It's something that can lead, that can create, that can pursue. And her willingness to take initiative challenges outdated ideas that love and desire must follow rigid roles. She shows that real intimacy is co-created, that both partners have a voice, that both partners have agency, and perhaps most importantly, when a woman initiates from genuine wanting, she honors herself. She honors her own desires, her own needs, her own feelings. She doesn't suppress them. She doesn't minimize them. She allows herself to feel, to long, to reach out. And in doing so, she gives her man the gift of her authentic, wholehearted love. In the end, love that's freely given, love that's chosen again and again, not out of obligation, but out of desire, is the kind of love that endures. It's the kind of love that grows deeper with time. It's the kind of love that leaves both people feeling fulfilled, valued, and alive. And that's the love worth building, worth protecting, worth celebrating every single day. When a woman truly desires her man, her focus isn't on performing or impressing. It's not about meeting some external standard or trying to live up to an image of what intimacy is supposed to look like. Instead, her priority is something much deeper, emotional connection. She knows that the most meaningful intimacy doesn't come from perfect technique or rehearsed gestures. It comes from a genuine meeting of hearts. Emotional connection is the foundation of lasting love. Without it, even the most physically passionate moments can feel empty or transactional. But when a woman prioritizes emotional closeness, every moment of intimacy becomes an opportunity to draw closer, to build trust, to strengthen the bond they share. She notices the subtle shifts in his expression, the quiet moments where he might need reassurance, the times when closeness means more than words or actions could express. Her goal isn't to impress him with a performance, it's to make him feel seen, safe, and deeply valued. This doesn't mean she ignores the physical aspect of intimacy. Rather, she understands that physical closeness is most powerful when it's rooted in emotional closeness. She notes that desire becomes richer, more profound, and more fulfilling when it's a reflection of emotional trust and connection. For her, intimacy is not something to achieve, but something to experience. together in mutual openness and care. By letting go of the pressure to perform, she frees herself to be present. And presence is one of the greatest gifts she can offer. When she's truly present, she's not distracted, not self-conscious, not caught up in worries about how she looks or whether she's doing it right. She's fully there with him, for him, alongside him. And that presence transforms ordinary moments into meaningful ones. It invites him to relax, to open up, to meet her in that same space of authenticity. Prioritizing emotional connection also creates resilience in the relationship. Physical desire may ebb and flow over time. Life stresses, challenges, and responsibilities can sometimes dull passion. But when the bond is rooted in emotional closeness, intimacy doesn't disappear, it simply evolves. A woman who builds intimacy on connection rather than performance creates a relationship that can weather seasons of change. Because the heart of their closeness isn't dependent on appearances or expectations. It's built on love, respect, and mutual care. In choosing emotional connection, she gives herself permission to communicate honestly. She's willing to say what she feels, what she needs, what she hopes for. She invites her partner to do the same. There's no pretending, no guessing, no silent resentment. Instead, there's openness, and in that openness, they find new ways to love, to support, to understand each other more deeply. A woman who prioritizes emotional connection understands that intimacy isn't about proving anything. It's not about performing for validation. It's about sharing. It's about offering herself as she is and welcoming her partner as he is. It's about creating a space where both can be fully human, fully flawed, fully loved. And that kind of intimacy is what keeps desire alive. Not for a moment, but for a lifetime. At the end of the day, emotional connection turns intimacy into a safe haven. It transforms it from something transactional into something transformational. It becomes a place where love is renewed, where trust is deepened, where two people remind each other again and again, you're not alone. I'm with you. I see you. I choose you. And that is the kind of love that endures, that heals, that grows stronger with every passing day. When a woman truly desires her man, she doesn't just focus on what she wants or needs. She also becomes deeply attuned to his needs. This isn't about sacrificing herself or losing her voice. It's not about putting his needs above her own or neglecting her desires. It's about balance, about partnership, about creating a space where both people feel seen, valued, and cared for. Being attuned to his needs means paying attention not just to his words, but to what lies beneath them. It's noticing the subtle ways he communicates. It's recognizing when he needs encouragement, when he needs rest, when he needs affection, or when he simply needs quiet presence. She listens not only with her ears, but with her heart. She doesn't assume, she stays curious. She asks, how can I love you better, and truly wants to hear the answer. This attentiveness isn't about perfection, it's about intentionality. It's about saying, I care enough to learn you. Every man, like every woman, carries unspoken hopes, fears, and vulnerabilities. And a woman who desires him wants to understand those parts of him, not to fix him, but to stand beside him. Her desire includes his whole self, not just the roles he plays or the strengths he shows. She loves him in his moments of confidence and in his moments of doubt. Being attuned also means respecting his boundaries and honoring his individuality. It's recognizing that his needs may sometimes be different from hers, and that's okay. She doesn't expect him to mirror her emotions exactly. Instead, she makes space for his unique ways of processing, of expressing, of connecting. And in doing so, she invites mutual respect. She shows him that love doesn't mean control or conformity. It means acceptance and support. At the same time, she remains connected to her own needs. And she doesn't silence herself or abandon her desires in the process. Instead, she holds both his needs and her own with care. She seeks the middle ground where both can thrive. When conflicts arise, she approaches them not as battles to win, but as opportunities to understand each other more deeply. Her goal isn't domination or submission, it's collaboration. This balance creates a powerful kind of intimacy. Because when a woman is attuned to her partner's needs as much as her own, love stops being a transaction. It becomes a partnership. It becomes a space where giving and receiving flow naturally without keeping score. Both partners learn to look out for each other's well-being, knowing that their own fulfillment is tied to the other's. Being attuned also shows up in the small, everyday gestures. It's remembering what brings him joy. It's knowing the little things that make him feel appreciated. It's anticipating when he needs encouragement, when he needs laughter, or when he needs peace. These aren't grand, dramatic acts, but they speak volumes. They say, I see you, I notice you, I care enough to pay attention. And over time, these small gestures build a deep reservoir of trust and closeness. When a woman becomes attuned to his needs, she creates a relationship where he feels safe to be vulnerable. He doesn't have to pretend to be strong all the time. He doesn't have to hide his struggles. He knows he has a partner who will hold space for him, who will walk with him, who will remind him that he doesn't have to carry everything alone. And that safety allows him to show up more fully, more authentically, more lovingly. In the end, being attuned to his needs as much as her own isn't about losing herself. It's about expanding herself. It's about choosing love that's generous, love that listens, love that honors both people equally. It's about building a relationship where both can thrive, where both can be nourished, where both can grow. Because love isn't a competition of needs. It's a shared commitment to care. It's a shared desire to meet each other in the middle again and again. And when a woman desires her man enough to stay attuned to his needs, she's not just building intimacy for today. She's laying the foundation for a love that lasts, a love that deepens, a love that strengthens them both for all the seasons to come. When a woman truly desires her man, her expression of sensuality isn't confined to the bedroom. It's not something she switches on only in private moments. Instead, she carries her sensuality with her throughout her daily life. It's woven into how she speaks, how she moves, how she connects. She understands that desire is nurtured not just in physical intimacy, but in the everyday moments that build anticipation, trust, and closeness. Embracing sensuality beyond the bedroom means she lets her presence be felt. It's the way she touches his arm when she walks past. It's the way she holds his gaze a little longer across the room. It's the smile she offers him when no one else is watching. These small gestures may seem subtle, but they create a powerful undercurrent of connection. They remind him that he's desired, that he's chosen, that he's seen not just as a partner, but as a man she deeply wants. Sensuality beyond the bedroom isn't only about touch, it's about attention. She notices him. She notices the way he laughs, the way he focuses, the way he carries his burdens. She pays attention to his moods, his stories, his silences. This kind of attention creates intimacy that isn't dependent on physicality alone. It tells him, I see you even when no words are spoken. And being seen in this way builds a closeness that deepens desire over time. A woman who embraces sensuality in all aspects of life knows that desire grows in safety and trust. She creates emotional spaces where he feels relaxed, accepted, and encouraged to be himself. She invites lightness and play into their relationship. She knows that flirtation isn't just for early dating, it's something that can be nurtured every day. She's playful with her words, her looks, her gestures, keeping the spark alive not through obligation but through joy. Her sensuality also shows up in how she cares for herself. She takes pleasure in her own body, her own senses, her own experiences of beauty and pleasure. She doesn't wait for intimacy to feel attractive or alive. She carries that energy with her, and that self-connection radiates outward. Her man feels drawn to the confidence she holds, the ease she cultivates, the authenticity she embodies. Her sensuality is not performative. It's rooted in her own delight in being fully alive. Beyond physical expression, she builds sensuality through shared experiences, cooking a meal together, dancing in the kitchen, taking a walk at sunset, sharing laughter over an inside joke. These moments are sensual in their own right. They create a rhythm of closeness that extends far beyond the walls of a bedroom. They infuse ordinary life with intimacy, making even mundane routines feel meaningful because they're shared with love. When a woman embraces sensuality beyond the bedroom, she shows her man that intimacy isn't limited to certain times or settings. It's a continuous thread that runs through their life together. It's in the way she listens to him after a long day. It's in the warmth of her hand finding his under the table. It's in the soft, I love you whispered as they part ways. These moments remind him that love and desire are living things nurtured daily through presence, attention, and care. This approach also lifts the pressure from physical intimacy to be the sole expression of closeness. When sensuality is infused into everyday life, physical intimacy becomes a natural extension of emotional and sensual connection, not an isolated act that needs to perform or prove anything. It allows both partners to approach intimacy with more freedom, more playfulness, and more authenticity. In embracing sensuality beyond the bedroom, a woman creates an environment where love can deepen continually. She reminds her man that desire isn't reserved for special occasions, it's part of their shared life. It's found in the quiet moments, the ordinary interactions, the daily ways they choose each other again and again. And in doing so, she nurtures a love that feels alive, dynamic, and lasting. A love that doesn't rely on grand gestures, but is strengthened by the consistent, loving attention to the small moments that truly matter. Because at the heart of sensuality is presence. And presence is one of the most powerful ways we say, I'm here. I see you. I choose you today and every day.